Good afternoon and welcome to the Daily News Analysis by Civil Service Institute, Pala. Let's see the top stories of the day. We will be looking at 6 important articles from 15th and 16th of June 2025. The first news is Arunachal Pradesh declares 2025 to 2035 as decade of hydropower. War in Middle East. What next? Center sets a panel to frame air crash response guidelines. Air India plane crash. How DNA analysis is used to identify victims. What are flue gas desulfurization units? And the last one, why have special economic zones rules been relaxed? Let's see the articles in detail. The first one is that the northeastern state of Arunachal Pradesh declares 2025 to 2035 as decade of hydropower. It aims to harness 58,000 megawatt of hydropower, and its strategic focus is on small, medium, and large hydroelectric projects. It also plans for revenue generation and energy independence. It's part of the sustainability plans with regular consultations with project-affected families. This includes creation of escrow accounts for strategic management and revenue distribution. And the state also ensures fair compensation for local communities. Now, in the article, an important formula called what formula was mentioned. So what is this what formula? It is the formula used in hydropower agreements between power developers and the state government. According to the formula, Arunachal Pradesh is entitled to receive 12% free power from each hydroelectric project developed in the state. Additionally, an extra 1% is allocated for the local area development. So, what can be concluded from this? Arunachal seeks to become a major energy producer while ensuring sustainable development. Why this article becomes important is that Northeast has been a focal point for both union government and the respective state governments. This move is aimed at harnessing the state's potential to generate electricity, creating stable and supportive regulatory framework for overall economic development and for building an industrial ecosystem in the northeastern state. This hydroelectric project and all these projects for that matter is in Arunachal and the neighboring northeastern states also holds strategic and security importance due to the Chinese construction of large dams on the upper reaches of Brahmaputra. Moving on to the next news. Here, war in Middle East and what next? The world is facing another war conundrum. Here, Iran and Israel is fighting. As of June 15, Israel and Iran have exchanged 4 waves of strikes. So what are the important objectives both countries are looking to? Israel seeks to dismantle Iran's nuclear program. Israel doesn't want Iran to be nuclear state. And Israel's actions serve to reinforce America's bargaining position in nuclear talks with Iran. This may delay or derail Iran's nuclear aspirations. And Middle East is a place meddled with proxies. Both countries use proxies in fighting each other, especially Houthis in Yemen, Hamas and Hezbollah. All these proxies continues to attack Israel, and a large-scale war could endanger US-Israel relations and can disrupt oil flows in the Strait of Hormuz, which is a strategic choke point, and can lead to further military escalations. These events have sent shockwaves through global markets, with India's benchmark Sensex closing 573 points lower on Friday. The renewed instability could pose deeper macroeconomic challenges not only for India but for the entire world, aggravating inflation. And this could also increase freight charges. Cargo vessels will be forced to take the route via Cape of Good Hope, and this detour means rise in shipping cost due to longer voyage duration, which in turn would lead to tightened vessel availability. All this can exert inflationary pressures on global economy. So let's wait and watch how this conflict and escalation turns out to be. Coming to the next news, this is about sender setting up a panel to frame air crash response guidelines. India needs a sincere aircraft accident investigation. So here the center has established a high-level committee headed by the Home Secretary. The committee's role is to develop standard operating procedures and guidelines for aviation accident response. And the focus areas include preventing and handling future aviation accidents. And please note, this is not a replacement for existing investigations carried out by Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau, which will be looking at the institution called Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau shortly. These committee will suggest emergency response mechanisms and coordination between relevant agencies. So, who are the committee members? The chairperson is the Home Secretary, and the members include Joint Secretary from the Ministry of Home Affairs, and other members are heads of civil aviation, police, intelligence, and forensic agencies. And this was developed in response to the Air India crash in Ahmedabad, and timely guidelines will improve preparedness and coordinated response in case of future accidents. Let's hope no such future accidents happen in India. Coming to the institution called Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau, it is a governmental agency and was established in 2012 under the Ministry of Civil Aviation. Its primary responsibility is to investigate aircraft accidents and serious incidents in India's airspace, and the purpose is to determine how the accident happened and recommend safety improvements and not to blame anyone. Before AAIB, such investigations were handled by the Directorate General of Civil Aviation, which also regulated airlines. All accidents and serious incidents involving aircraft with all weight more than 2,250 kilogram or turbojet aircraft are investigated by AAIB. Hence, AAIB is a statutory and autonomous investigative body, and India's aviation ecosystem has outgrown the current national civil aviation policy. Airline industry all over the world is navigating turbulent times with safety fears and cost strain. International carriers are grappling with grounded fleets, jet fuel cost management, tightening environmental targets, uncertainty over trade policies, and regulatory oversight. These all problems adds to the sector's fragile recovery and long-term sustainability. The next news is also related to the aircraft accident that occurred recently. In this news article, we'll be looking at DNA analysis and how it helps in identifying the victims. After the Air India Boeing 787 Dreamliner crash in Ahmedabad, authorities are using DNA, that is deoxyribonucleic acid analysis, to identify the remains of the victims. And what is the uniqueness of DNA? Every person except identical twins has a unique DNA present in nearly every cell of their body. So DNA analysis is the most reliable method for identifying human remains, especially in mass fatality events where identification is difficult. So this is called the gold standard. DNA from hard tissues, that is bones and teeth, survive longer than DNA from soft tissues like skin and muscles. So due to better preservation from decomposition, DNA analysis has to be carried out as soon as possible. DNA has to be collected and verified as soon as possible because DNA degrades over time, making it difficult to analyze. And here we will be also looking at 4 important methods of DNA analysis. First one is short tandem repeat analysis. STRs are short repeating sequences of DNA that vary widely between individuals. They are primarily found in nuclear DNA and is used for identification. Next is the mitochondrial DNA analysis, used when nuclear DNA is degraded or unavailable. Mitochondrial DNA is passed down from the mother to all offspring, making it useful when other relatives are not available for comparison. Next is the Y chromosome analysis. It involves the analysis of Y chromosomes, which is passed down from the father to the son. This method is used to match remains with male relatives, as the name suggests, including brothers, paternal uncles, or paternal male cousins. And the last one is single nucleotide polymorphisms analysis. This method is used for highly degraded DNA samples. SNPs are unique variations in DNA which can help identify individuals with reference samples like personal belongings, for example, toothbrush, hairbrush, etc. So here, what we have to note down is that while mitochondrial DNA analysis and single nucleotide polymorphisms analysis are useful, they are not as effective as short tandem repeat analysis. And for short tandem repeat analysis to be successful, it requires better preserved samples. So that's all about this news. Next one is about flue gas desulfurization units. So as you all know, flue gas is emitted as a byproduct when coal is burned. It mainly contains pollutants like carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxides, particulate matter, etc. All of them are greenhouse gases. So flue gas desulfurization units specifically target sulfur dioxide emissions in flue gas. Sulfur dioxide is an acidic gas and is usually treated with basic compound in this unit to neutralize the pollutant. There are three common types of flue gas desulfurization units around the world, and those three important flue gas desulfurization units are dry sorbent injection, wet limestone treatment, and using seawater to remove sulfur dioxide. So in the first method, that is the dry sorbent injection, the method involves adding a powdered sorbent like limestone to the flue gas where it reacts with sulfur dioxide. And the resultant compound can be removed by using an electrostatic precipitator or fabric filter. And the next method is the wet limestone treatment, and this is the most effective and highly efficient method. The wet limestone treatment method also uses limestone. In the earlier method also we used limestone, and in this method also we use limestone to remove sulfur dioxide. But the difference lies in that in the earlier method, that is the dry sorbent injection, we used powdered limestone, whereas in the wet limestone treatment, we use limestone in the slurry form. Passing sulfur dioxide through this slurry results in the formation of gypsum, which is a stable compound and has wide applications in industries like construction and other important manufacturing sectors. This is the commonly used technology. That is, the wet limestone method is the commonly used technology and has very high efficiency. And the last one is the seawater treatment, which will be done in plants located near coastal areas where seawater is easily available. Seawater first absorbs sulfur dioxide from the flue gas, and then the water is treated to make it suitable to be discharged back into the sea. So why sulfur dioxide emissions are bad? Sulfur dioxide is a major greenhouse gas that causes global warming, causes respiratory problems in humans, and 15% of India's PM2.5 is attributed to coal. In 2015, the Union Environment Ministry issued a policy that mandated all 537 coal-fired thermal power plants to install flue gas desulfurization units to reduce sulfur dioxide emissions. And the deadline was 2018. The notification was given in 2015 and the deadline was 2018. As of 2025, only a handful thermal power plants have met the target. And why only handful thermal power plants have met the target? Because installing a flue gas desulfurization unit is a costly affair with approximately 1.2 2 crore, 1.2 crore per megawatt according to Central Electricity Authority. So it's a huge amount. 1.2 crore per megawatt is a very, very expensive affair, but there is no other option and there is no alternative to flue gas desulfurization units. If we want to reduce sulfur dioxide emissions that is released from burning of coal, we have to install flue gas desulfurization units in all our thermal power plants. I hope the article is clear. Moving on to the last article, and this is with regard to special economic zones. Special economic zones rules have been relaxed in keeping in view with the semiconductor manufacturing in India. As you all know, India is heavily dependent on semiconductor imports. In order to reduce the dependence on China, we have launched the Semicon India program in 2022. The concentration of supply chains in one country pose huge risk for any country dependent on those supplies. So India is heavily dependent on semiconductor imports, and semiconductor lies at the heart of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and other electrical and manufacturing components. So boosting domestic manufacture is therefore very, very essential. So in order to boost domestic manufacture and local production, we have changed 3 rules in the special economic zone rules. And the 3 changes include, the first one is with regard to rule number 5, which dealt with the size of special economic zone. Earlier, there was a need for 50 hectares to be treated as a special economic zone, but the rule is now relaxed and only 10 hectares is now required. And with the 10 hectares, all the benefits of earlier special economic zones can be availed, like tax exemptions, duty-free imports, and infrastructure imports. And the next change is to rule number 7. It relaxed the condition of special economic zone land to be encumbrance-free. This will allow special economic zone to be set up faster. Special economic zone can come up faster with all the bureaucratic and government compliance red tapeism gone. So the land has been declared encumbrance free. And the last one is to rule number 18. Rule number 18 was also amended, which allows domestic sales. Earlier, domestic sales were not allowed. It was meant for export. Now, the locally manufactured semiconductors are allowed to be sold in the domestic manufacturing industry, which ensures a steady supply to the domestic market, shielding from the global trade uncertainty. So that's all about this article. Here you have a practice question, and please comment the answer below. Please do comment and put answer in the comment box. And the question is, 𝗏𝗏 and 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏 are 3 nuclear facilities in. 𝗏𝗏 and 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏 nuclear facilities are located in which country? It was seen in the news recently. So please do comment the answer below. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the session. Have a nice day.